Take 4. Take 3 was killed by an in real life emergency in name only. In name only. But when they pull up and are honking right outside, and you have to figure out, and you know them well for years, you got to figure out what's going on. So I mean, killed alive. So, all right, we are back. Let's see if I can actually finish. So, all right. All right, I like this better. Okay, so my first conversational marketing recipe is Community Bank of Fitzgerald, Georgia. And what's a conversational marketing recipe? Well, it's what I would do for this specific brand to have their digital marketing become conversational marketing, i.e. a two-way conversation between brand and customer, and scale it is the idea, right? So now I typically focus on 1 to 10 in-person organizations, non-digital natives exclusive, like born before the digital revolution, not comfortable really with it. Digital marketing that's not like just second nature to them. So it's a case where I'm able to help very personally help them, make it organic to them, so to speak, like add it to their skill set, so to speak, through their actual, the organization that they're working, that they run as the, owner, president, whatever. Anyway, so let's start with the digital status quo. I wrote a post about a story about why, or the story about why I chose Community Bank to be the first conversational marketing recipe. It's on the blog post. If you go over to my website and search for it, conversational marketing recipe, Community Bank, you'll find it, no problem. And that was the first one. I did that one, posted it, and then realized that I was going to be doing video, and then a little later I figured out, I'm going to be doing live video. So I've had to redo this explanation. I mean, it's a slide deck in Google Slides, but, to redo it and so that I could, it felt organized to me because it's a lot of slides. So let's get through them. Looking at the digital status quo, starting with the website, marketing website specifically. They have another place where we go as members to, access their online banking. But this is the marketing website. CBCFitzgerald.com is I believe it's the root domain for the marketing website. So they're leading with buying a home. I like the brand colors. So I ran this with brightlocal.com, and it's they take a look at the website, and all I had to do was give them the URL, right? So I'm not going to go through all of these, but the point of it is, in my mind, is that it's just shallow content on the pages of the current marketing website is what it boils down to. So now, beyond the website, what about the digital reputation? Good. 43 reviews here, 34 of them are 5-star. Not a lot of engagement, and so not a lot of conversation, if you will, through this page currently. So an area of opportunity as well. Now, this is part of that report that I mentioned earlier, and this is the review and ratings part, and it shows where and how much, and it even below that it lists like the most recent 10 reviews, as well as if they're just the star, or if they also put some text with it, basically. So the third part of the foundation is the digital citations or local search engine optimization. It sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook, I get it, but it's actually really pertinent when you're a bank a local bank. Community Bank of Fitzgerald's been going for decades. I know my grandparents for decades were customers. I've been a customer for decades. They've had roots here forever. They're involved with the biggest thing in town is the Fitzgerald High School football team, really, over the last, 10, 15 years, especially. So the Community Bank has been, involved with pretty much all the main players in town are. But so annoying. Okay, let's see if my internet Mediacom can hook it up and maybe stay online for a minute or three. All right, this is the local business listings. This is just to make sure we're clear, digital citation / local search engine optimization. And the business listings is taking a look at all the different places that businesses are listed, including the Facebook page, etc., and seeing, okay, the name, the address, and the phone number and all, do they match exactly? And they're connecting all of these different ones by way of that listing. Does it match exactly? If so, then they're connected, under the same brand, right? So in here, you'll see the report showed that there's a bunch of them that they could be listed in that are not currently, and the ones that they are listed in are not perfect. They're not an exact match for the name, address, and phone number, and it literally has to be an exact match. So Google My Business Rank. So this refers to, they're a bank, right, in Fitzgerald. So if I have my phone, out and I type bank in, and I'm in Fitzgerald, I'm across from the high school and National Guard Armory and so forth. And if I do that, do I find, in the rankings of the banks by Google, which is typically where I'm always going for a search, then where is Community Bank of Fitzgerald? That's what the Google My Business rank boils down to. So the ranking, they're 6th. And they should definitely be first, but in real life roots, they're probably first. Colony doesn't even have their account verified, but they have a better star rating and they have more reviews in Google specifically. Now, Google specifically, whereas Community Bank only had the one, in Google. So definitely an area of opportunity. It shouldn't be hard for them to be at the very top and just stay there once they take over. All right, so recipe phase 1. This is the latest version of my recipes, and my channel is basically becoming my test kitchen because just documenting as I work through this media strategy and business strategy and a bunch of different pieces. I have other shows or episodes live that I'll likewise do live that'll cover other topics, kind of just whatever I want to make videos on is what I'm going to make videos on, I guess. But I'm always making it for the exact same person. You're a non-digital native, born before the digital revolution. It's not native to you. It's not inherently comfortable when you think digital marketing and your 1 to 10 person organization. And that's the person and interested in conversation, two-way conversation, understanding that people, it's not a number, just all of those things. That's my customer. So that's who all these recipes are laid out for, right? And the 4 parts though that I've that I've iterated to is, the foundation, and this for conversational marketing, right? So you have the foundation for conversational marketing, you have the media, and then you have the customer conversation. And these are all to be, okay, we're conversational marketing now. And this is my self-taught version. So, and then the 4th is the campaigns. Starting foundation, website. So for me, I would replace cbcfitzgerald.com, their current website, which I don't believe it's WordPress. I would put it on WordPress, and I would make it a WooCommerce store, okay? And that would be the digital marketplace for Fitzgerald. Is how I would roll it out. But the whole point is, like, I wouldn't list anything in that store, that online store that would be at cbcfitzgerald.com. I wouldn't list anything that people wouldn't want to buy immediately, right? So you're not just putting a bunch of junk there. You're making it a place where people in Fitzgerald and, you know, Irwin and so forth, when they want this one thing that's important to them, that's interesting, they go there. For me, the first thing with that would be, I would be trying to have a job board play out and use the WooCommerce store in order to make that work. And here's the beauty of going through Liquid Web Managed WooCommerce hosting, which that's how I would do the WooCommerce store experience. I wouldn't do it any other way. Like, wouldn't have. So why would I do that? Well, like, you know, they got a perfectly pretty website currently. Why are you going to mess with it? Site speed is crucial, especially when you're talking about e-commerce. Site speed, I cannot tell you, like, whatever it takes for the page to load in under 2 seconds each, every single solitary time. That's the goal. And you're probably never going to 100% attain it, but you should get bleeping close, if you know what I mean. All right, so number 2 is the current online baking customer experience isn't bad. I mean, I'm a customer for decades, so just keep it in mind. But it could definitely benefit. I put may, but it could definitely benefit from consolidation. And the idea behind the marketplace, that WooCommerce store that they use to facilitate commerce between different people within Fitzgerald and Bid Hill County, and, you know, the local at Tifton or Douglas, or, you know, it'll spread, but it's all going to be about the people physically here, you know, within 30, let's call it 20 miles, 15 miles, 10 miles, golly, within like 10 miles of their main locations. Like, you want to lock that down first, is how I would approach it. You know, and then you can add the other stuff. You can go global, but, you know, the whole point of it is, it's to own local and to really help people locally, so that, you know, rising tide lifts all boats. That's the idea behind that marketplace or whatever that I would put at cbcfitzgerald.com. All right, so how would you do it yourself? Well, you sign up for Liquid Web. Go to liquidweb.com, 14-day speed trial. Okay? It's a new store because they don't have one. But they could set up the marketplace and tell you what plugins to get. And, I mean, it's actually like, yeah, go there and say, hey, look, Jason Hobbs on his live video that he did, and, you know, you probably watched it later, but, you know, he said to come and sign up, and that you would help me figure out what I needed to get this WooCommerce store the way that I want it. And I guarantee you that they'll be like, yeah, let's do it. All right. So you do that. And what's going to happen is they're going to set everything up and help you get everything set up and figure out and organized, right? And then they're going to test that speed of what they can deliver for that new paradigm, which is that store experience, versus, you know, the current marketing website. And, you know, the Liquid Web version would just crush it, and they would be flipping the switch in no time. So I still haven't added that screenshot. All right. So what about the digital reputation? What would I do with that? What kind of voodoo do I have in mind for it? Well, okay. So I'm setting up a feedback loop. Let's just be clear, right? So we get a customer feedback loop, and what's that mean? Well, I want a system in place that will allow Community Bank to poll, if you will, their customers actively. And what does that mean? Well, that means that it's called an NPS score, Net Promoter Score. And what that tells you is just, it basically, it asks them, how likely are you to share community bank? A lot of them ask something along those lines. Or, how would you rate your experience? But either way, the only thing they can do is on a scale of 1 to 10, choose 1 to 10, right? 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, right? So they choose by clicking it, and when they click on that, it opens up a page on whatever device they're on where they can now, it logs, okay, they clicked on 6, so now it shows the 6, and it says, okay, what did you, did you have any thoughts to share with that, so to speak, right? And you want to write a review with that rating, I guess is the best way to kind of quantify it. The other thing that I would do is we'd be using Drift, the conversational marketing platform, the first one, the only one at this point. So part of that is we definitely have a saved reply within Drift that offers a link to a page for where people can rate and review. In Drift, I'm almost positive, there's so many different pieces to these recipes, I'm almost positive that there is a way in Drift, like there's a playbook or whatever that you can set up that will do NPS score, but at this point, I don't know that it's connected to get 5. The API access, that might be something I explore, actually. I'll have to make a note of that. Okay, so anyway, a save Drift reply, sign up for, they have 2 locations, Community Bank does. One of them's drive-through only, but either way, you sign up and you get to where, at least the $100 one if you're just going to do one location, or at least the $75 one. That's right. I think at least it will make sure that you have all the functionality that you're going to want. Why would I use get5stars.com? Industry leader for 6+ years. I met Don Campbell, which is one of the founders, in December 2012 in Tampa at Blue Glass Experience, and that's what I've learned about the get5stars.com, and I've been using it ever since. Used it for a long time actually, and then went away for a while, and now I'm back. Mike Blumenthal is the other founder and considered the godfather of local search. And so those two have been working on this product for years and years, and they have a huge, really good team that they're building. Not a huge, but they have a really good team that they're building, etc. And they're kind of a 1 to 10. I think they're over 10 probably, but either way, I mean, they're right around my ballpark as far as, so that's another reason that I like choosing them. So how do you do it yourself? Sign up over at Get 5 Stars, fill out the information for each location, edit the emails to how you want them, test every email, open it up on your phone, etc. Know if it works or not, if it looks the way that you want, and then activate the system and add your customer emails. And keep in mind, you can keep adding emails, and once they're in there, the process is just going to take over, and then you can always come back and re-trigger in the future if I remember right. It's been a while. But anyway, so. All right, digital citations, local search engine optimization. What I would do is I'd go to brightlocal.com. They're based in the UK. And I'd pay them $1,000 to get 500 of these profile submissions using it's called a citation burst. It's a product of theirs called Citation Burst. And they have been working on this system and processes and the team behind it to implement it for, once again, like 6 or 7 or maybe more years. At least like 6. I'm almost positive. Just off the top of my very old, very bald, very gray head. All right, so why would I do that? Well, Bright Local, once again, longtime leader. Once again, they've been perfecting this system. They have a process in place where they submit the profile, they verify the profile. They've done it all before for pretty much everybody else, So it's just, I love being able to benefit from that for if it's me or, me and a client, me for one of my clients. All right, so how would you do it yourself? Well, you go to brightlocal.com, you pay them $1,000, get the 500, fill in your business info and upload your images and whatever you need, and they'll tell you, and they'll help you understand what you get and so forth. And then spend your 500 profile submissions. You're going to spend them on two different things. Either A, you're going to spend them on, hey, we have this profile created, we need to claim it, get it verified, whatever, and we have to clean it up. So it doesn't say West. It has W period, and everything should be West. You know what I mean? So it has to be exact. And then the other one is they're creating new profiles, and they're helping you understand, okay, which ones are the most important. Okay, so, which one's the most important, and then they're ranking them, and then you can just say, hey, let me do the first 50 right now, or, let's put those going. So. And don't worry, the credits don't expire until you use them. So, what about Google My Business rank? What would I do about that? Thanks for asking. What I do is, well, number one, I'd understand the customer feedback loop and the citation burst actions. They're going to help the Google My Business rank moving forward, period. Like, they're shoring up some issues that are affecting that Google My Business rank. I work on linking in addition to all that. So I go to pointblankseo.com, link-building-services, as you can see there. And then why would I go there? John Cooper and his team, another one I'm almost positive that I learned about and who has been, refining the process for years and years, has the team in place. I mean, it's just time and again, it's the same, apps and services and so forth that I come back to time and time again because it works. They're friendly. We click or relate or, whatever. It's just, it's definitely, it's definitely a reason behind it. Like, I don't just throw people's names out. These aren't affiliate links that I'm just throwing out and hoping somebody will click and buy. I'm saying, hey, look, go to him, and I'm not getting a piece. I don't know John at all. I do plan to, as my budget for Jason Hobbs Digital grows, I do plan on trying to get to work with him. But so if you can sell him on working together, it's just going to help. Like, because he's looking at it long term. He's like, look, if you are, just go read the page. Just go read the page. So how would you do it yourself? When you're reading the page, one of the things you'll see a left-hand column towards the bottom will be a little clarity box where for $5 a minute, you can set up a call with John to see how he'd approach link building for this new CBC marketing site /store I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at, right? The marketplace or whatever. All right. So, but I would start by talking to him and say, hey, and figure it out. Maybe you do get to hire him. Killer, right? If not, see if he'll help you find somebody that would be right for what he now understands that you want to do, And then from there, I believe between his team and the network of link building options that he's built over the years and years and years and years of him doing this, right down in Gainesville, Florida. I try not to hold the whole Florida Gator thing against him because I love Georgia Bulldogs, but we this is business. So, all right. What about media? This is the second part of the recipe. So you're going to be conversational marketing. All right, big component of that is, excuse me, you need media. All right, the strategy that I would do is I'd focus on CBC media and for Ben Hill and surrounding Georgia counties, just like we were talking about the marketplace as far as locking down the home, lockdown, same thing with the media approach in my mind. Like, that's who I'm creating media for. That's what I'm focused on week to week, month to month. Now, I would continue the current branding efforts that they're doing. I think that they're excellent. And I would kind of build on them and so forth. But, very good stuff. I've been meaning to take a picture of this billboard that they have. It's the junior partners of the board or something. I can't remember. But it's kids, a bunch of cute kids in a row. And, of employees of community bank team. So it's, that's the branding. That's I really like that. There's an element of nostalgia to what they do, and I really would play that up some. You do it smart. You don't want to get campy or ham-handed with it. But that nostalgia, especially in this area, and while trying to, using nostalgia to segue into an exciting future through the marketplace, etc. That would be kind of my focus. So the point of the media, right, is you got to get people's attention, but the secondary part is you want to be able to build the authority of the CBC brand in the team that is, bears the brand. Oh yeah, that one. I didn't mean it to sound like we were branding them. So exhibit the authoritative institutional knowledge. Like you just want to. You're going to make everybody look good. Is the idea. And you want to. It has to build the authority of, the salespeople so that people are wanting to come and, get their home mortgage from them or negotiated whatever. Why? Well, I believe, you may disagree, but you'd be wrong, that genuine quality-owned media is a brand asset, which can appreciate in value over time. Whereas if I drop 10 grand on, what do they call them? Billboard over on I-75, it's going to end. Now, with some of them, though, you can get lucky. And, they won't have anybody coming in after you, and you can just, they'll leave it up or maybe cut you a deal or whatever. But the other part of that is that's very static as far as that billboard or, a flyer or a TV commercial for that matter, whatever, radio ad, etc. Whereas that own media asset, everything else is trying to break into the attention of that person, that customer, whereas the media it draws them, so it's something where in the age of an empowered consumer, that's actually very powerful. Like them, it's kind of, if they see themselves, they see it as their idea, that's a win for the brand, right? So, all right. I think I confused both of us there. How to do it yourself. All right. This is a biggie. You have to accept that in 2018, today is July 12th, 2018, it's 2:06 p.m. Eastern Time, that every brand is a media company. Full stop. So you need to start adding media-related skills to your team in concert with third-party media providers you're brand partners with. You're not going to have the entire capability in-house. It's just, you could acqui-hire, but figuring out who and what to acqui-hire would not be cheap or easy, I don't believe. So start adding the skills to your team. And that's definitely, that's how I always look at it, is, it doesn't matter that they're a non-digital native or whatever. You can start teaching them how to contribute to the media generation of this brand, because it kind of becomes part of their, whatever you're paying them, So, all right, what about media creation? How would I do it? Well, what I would do if I was the president and CEO of Community Bank of Fitzgerald, I'd get an $11,400 check or a credit card with that, and I would send it to audienceops.com, Brian Castle, because what that would do is it would mean that Brian Castle and his team of editors, as far as writers and editors, professional writers and editors, as well as audio editors, audio talent, project man, you get my point. They're going to help you create a professional article every week, a professional podcast every week, and a professional video episode. That's insane. I mean, it's a lot of money up front, don't get me wrong, but the value? Give me a break. That's fantastic. Trust me, I've been doing this for 13 years. So just believe me when I say. So the article, podcast episode, that's what I would do. That way you're starting, and there's a lot of other stuff that I would do, but the point is you need a strong foundation that is and they're going to, the other part to that is by doing it this way, the president CEO of Community Bank is now able to basically take off of him and his team's plate and put it onto Brian Castle and his team's plate to plan out, what topics are important. They do so much foundational work. And all the president CEO gets to do has to do is benefit from it. $11,400. Give me a break. All right. So the only reason that I left these in, this is when you go to Audience Ops, when you're going to sign up or whatever, get the free consultation. But when you're looking at stuff, you see that there's a lead magnet and it costs $1,000. You're going to want to do that. And that's a big old piece of content. Think of it as just a big piece of media that's going to be really, really helpful. It's going to be based on all that research we talked about and, so forth. And it's going to be, written and edited and planned and so forth and optimized in WordPress. Literally, you have to talk to them and let them explain to you all the stuff that their process involves. And if you let them, you're going to want to pay them to do it for you. Trust me. And if you don't, then you're not that smart. Not personal, but all right. You also have the podcasting, $1,000 first month. They schedule interviews. They help you plan the topics. They make sure that a new episode coming out every week. They're continuously planning topics. This is a partnership in a lot of, is kind of how I always looked at it. All right, so why would I do that? Okay, so Audience Ops, Brian Castle, professional quality writers, editors of the written word, as well as audio editors, video editors, project managers, and more. And they've been working on this system for years and years and years. Solely. For the most part. Brian works on different stuff, but the team that he put together around this, and he has spent a ton of time on it as well. So how do you do it yourself? You head over to audienceops.com, talk to them. Just talk to them. Start a conversation. All right, so media distribution. What would I do? Okay, so let's be clear. 2018, distribution ain't hard. Creating the media that people care about, that is the hard part. It's the audio, the video, the written words that they actually care about. That's the hard part. Distribution isn't. For instance, what I would do specifically is remember, we got a blog, right? Because we have all these articles that are putting out once a week. You also have the podcast and you have the video channel that they're all just from Audience Ops. So one thing that I would do is you have to distribute all of them, right? But you want to take and distribute it natively, so to speak. So, currently Instagram video or, 1 minute videos, or you have an image that or a gallery of images for that matter. And then, that's a post, an Instagram post. And then you also have Instagram stories. And then you have IGTV. And you're going to want to, before you start, turning on the faucet, so to speak, into each of those different ones, you're going to want to understand and have someone that's going to be able to help you speak natively and, create and tell your conversation, your story, natively so that people, as they're in Instagram video, or if they're on Facebook, or if they're on LinkedIn or whatever, they're getting your message, but they're getting it in the format that suits their typical experience within that app or whatever. Is that? All right. So why would I do that? Own media, direct audience relationship, key to digital success. I'm gonna leave it. I can't be any more. I cannot get more specific than that. If you have questions, Jason@JasonHobbsLLC.com. All right. Or go to my website, JasonHobbsDigital.com. Yeah, I have no earthly idea why I've done that. I should not have changed. Although I love the digital, but anyway. Okay, so go back. Right. So how would I distribute this media? Well, let's talk specifically. For the podcast, I would upload specifically through the Anchor app, and I would use the Anchor app, Anchor.com or whatever. But I would use it to distribute the podcast. See? And, they will do it, and it's free, and it's super easy. They send it to everybody. They're basically an aggregator service, I guess, for podcasts. Although, they also offer the ability to create your podcast and so forth. Although in this instance, you wouldn't necessarily be doing, not for this one, because this one would be through Audience Ops. But there could be other podcasts that would still fall under the CBC Fitzgerald banner, if you will, as part of the overarching media, right? So for videos to be embedded on the marketing side, I'd use Wistia. It's going to start at like $100 a month. That's only a limited number of videos included in that. And then beyond it, you pay like 25 cents a month for each of the additional ones. They make it really easy to figure out how much it's going to be and so forth. But it's definitely worth it. Once again, they've been working on video hosting and the player and making it fast and making it work everywhere and every time and so forth for years. So, and then the other part was the native video. Like I like to upload, if I'm going to put something somewhere, I upload it natively as far as the video or audio or, whatever. So, all right, customer conversation. This is the third part of the recipe for conversational marketing. So customer conversation is kind of important, right? Start with the strategy, customer-centric approach. You're talking to people. It's a two-way conversation. You need to break the ice with them. You need them to be able to relate to you. You need them to trust your authority, and then, and eventually you need them to pay you, right? I mean, I think all charity, some of us are, profit seekers. So the way I like to explain it when I'm trying to help somebody wrap their mind around what I mean by, having a customer conversation and taking a customer-centric approach to it is, think back when I used to work at Taco Bell, run Taco Bell, whatever, shift manager, I was a steamer and closer and weekend oh man, ran drive-through and made my own food. Yeah. Anyway, my point being, one of the biggest things I learned while working for Taco Bell for so many years was the customer was always right. And that's kind of the way that I help people wrap their mind around it. Like, just assume they're always right. Because today, they are. I mean, you're local, but they can use any banking app that they want as long as they have internet access. And most people, even, poor people like me, they have access to the internet these days. Some of us are even lucky enough to have some kind of fast internet access. So, and I live like a 9-minute walk from the CBC campus. All right, so why would I do that? Consumer is in total control. You have to understand that, accept that, and accommodate that. Because this isn't something that just suddenly happened. They've been in control for years, and, they're not letting go at all. It's just increasing. Now it's 100%, and they're not going to stop. Okay, so how? Commit to your conversational marketing strategy. So it has to be an investment of your resources. And that, that's money, but that's also time and attention of your team and you and so forth. Talking, obviously, the president and CEO of Community Bank. So, or someone else that was going to be putting this in. So, use your investment to create your own success story is my thinking. Like, if I was doing this with them and we were just like, they're like, here, you said all this and give me a total and then how much for you and then, okay, let's do it. Then the first thing that they would do is they would have to, across the board, but starting first and foremost at the top, right, have to embrace the conversational marketing. We're going to be customer centric. We're going to have customer conversations. The customer is always right. We're going to approach every interaction by phone, face to face in the office, video call, audio call, email, live chat, whatever, right? That's the first thing. And nothing else is going to work if everyone's not committed to it. So you would start by doing $4,500 for a year. And this is where you're actually, like how you're actually doing it, is you're starting by putting $4,500 down over at drift.com and getting 5 live chat operators. And, for CBC Fitzgerald, I would start with 2 sales, 2 customer service, and 1 decision maker. However, if your staff works best with that. But keep in mind, if they have a computer, they'll always be able to, live chat through it all the time. Just open any browser window. And then at the same time, there's an app on here and that makes it super easy for live chat as well. So, one way or the other, they're always, when they're on, and it can get them the message. Oh, yeah, because it's not. All right. So why are you paying the $500? Well, you're paying for a year, so you're getting it for $325 a month. But the reason that you're doing this investment in order to commit is you're going to get those 5 live chat operators, and you can add additional ones for like $50 a month, I think it is. And then you get bots. That's key, and we'll show you in future, iterations or portions of this recipe, because this is phase 1 of the recipe. I'll be doing future phases as well. Sometimes fixing stuff that I find was wrong or could have been better, and then obviously adding on to and fleshing out so that, okay, and it all has to flow together, right? And then automated meeting bookings. That's the other big thing, because the bots, by being on that larger plan, the bots will be able to actually book the meetings for the team, and you definitely want that. Definitely want that. And $500 a month if you decide to just do it monthly. All right, new customers. How are we having a customer conversation with them? What I would do is for new customers, the whole point of when they're on the website, CBC Fitzgerald, and they're on any page that makes sense that they're actually, like if they're in the marketplace, I'm not going to try and sell them a bunch of stuff, right? But it's all on the same site. So if they're on the pages, though, where they're looking into about the, online banking or this or that, then I'm going to be able to have the bot be waiting right there for them when they get there and be able to qualify them as, are you looking for a personal account, a business account, or home loan, or, what? And then, okay, well, you're looking for that. Here's what we need to know. And then based off of that, either you don't qualify and, I'm going to graciously move you forward, or you qualify and we're going to book you. You're going to book an appointment right now with your person, whoever is the right person based on, if it's rotating or if it's specific to, whatever product they're buying or whatever. So Drift will handle all of those different permutations. Okay, so how would I approach the new customer, kind of their flow? The funnel. I don't like the word. So I call it a path. the way I see it is they're starting as the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to have to engage in a live chat, a bot. They're going to have to type into the chat window, right? Then they're going to have an actual conversation where they've replied to something. We asked them a question, they answered. Now we're having a conversation. All right. So then from there, they're going to the system Drift is going to be able to say, hey, they're a chat qualified lead. They've done enough, and then they're super, they just keep building on top of that because it keeps track of and knows, how they're interacting with the team, regardless of if it's the product team or the marketing team or the sales team or, whatever. So that way it's able to be a quality experience for that user. And it feels like a scaled conversation. So, and then fourth is meetings booked. So that's the 4 that I would look for the new people, for the new customers. And keep in mind, this would be outside of the marketplace, etc. This would be, they saw something in the marketplace or whatever, and they needed this or that, So organically, they showed up here, bang. Now because they're interested. It's just like if they walk into, the main location for Community Bank. If they walk in, they've started engaging. Like they're in the live chat, quote unquote. Like, cause somebody's going to be able to see them and wave and smile and, you know what I mean? And then they go over to the lady at the reception desk, or they go over to the tellers, one of the different tellers, or the head teller, you know what I mean? Like there's so many, or they go over to the sales in the back or whatever. And so you're tracking their progress so that you know how to speak to them at any given point. Because okay, this is where they're at. All right, so why would I do that? Website becomes an inflection point for customer conversations. That's the whole point of it. You want to spark, whatever, be an impetus for conversations between people that are interested in what the brand does and the brand. And when I say the brand, I mean like all the people on the team, the bots, the whatever, the email component, etc. All right, so how would you do it yourself? Well, you're going to have to get GSuite, which is like $5 or $10 a person, depending on what plan that you need from Google. GSuite, they're the ones behind it. And you're going to use their branded email addresses. So like cbcfitzgerald.com would be through Google or GSuite. And then also you're going to use their calendars. And you definitely want both because that's going to make Drift just crush for you as far as easily being able to let people book a meeting from an email or from live chat or from the website or whatever. And then on top of that, you're going to want to connect the calendar to Drift for each of those proper CBC person's Drift profile. Like you have to have them in the system so that it can assign people to them and so forth. All right, what about current customers? Like I said earlier, they have their own website for online banking. I would have live chat for the logged in members, as well as if they're on the mobile app, which they also have a mobile app. However, consolidating the experience would be a big win for customers in my mind, the more I think about it. And here's why. So they have one website for this that I have to go log into, and but they don't really have any logins on the marketing side, don't get me wrong. But I am logging in over here, and I'm logging in on the mobile app. I can never get the mobile app, and I can never get into. It's the people that make up the brand and their interactions with the people that are the customers. That's what works. All right, so the team, I'd set up Slack, and I'd start by promoting that lead. Like I would start in Facebook with if I'm the paid ads, I'd start in Facebook. Then they're going to be, they add the pixel to the website and the media, the brand page to spark meaningful conversations. How to do it yourself? Install the Facebook pixel specific to their brand page on the marketing website the new one, and then upload the ad collateral, ad title, ad description, call to action link, and all that. And within Business Manager, and just you're going to eventually start retargeting the pixel using the pixel. You'll be able to create audiences and so forth. But you got to get the pixel on there and let it start collecting data. So, all right, my technical difficulties I have finished this. Phase 1 done. The next recipe number 2 is coming, and it's Irwin Animal Clinic. My animal clinic for forever. You may very well actually have to watch some pictures and videos of my animals. Actually, no, you'll definitely have to. So that'll be coming up as soon as I rest and recuperate for a few hours.